Yo, what's up, everybody? First off, happy Pride Month. I'm hoping I can actually upload this video today since I'm recording this on the 1st. And I do have something I want to talk about with regards to Digimon today. Before I get into that, though, I want to give a brief ish update. So, for the past few weeks, I haven't consistently been able to go to locals for a couple of reasons. Uh, this Thursday, I did go, but prior to that, I decided to skip because I took someone's shift on Friday. So I had to wake up kind of early, and I was like, okay, I'm not sure I can actually do that and still go to locals, right? That Saturday, I also went to my friend's wedding and reception. And the week before that, the 2 weeks before that, it was a combination of picking up shifts and also just getting sick. Thankfully, I work remotely, so me being sick doesn't prevent me from doing work. But yeah, stuff like that. Now, the other thing is, I actually have a lot of gameplay footage recorded on DCGO for a couple of different decks that I wanted to talk about, but the difficult thing for me has been trying to figure out exactly how I want to edit the footage, if I just want to use it as like a framing device to some degree when talking about various things as I do a breakdown of a deck, so on and so forth. I've done a bunch of write-ups as well. I literally have 4 Google Slide pages open because each one is discussing a different deck. I have some notepad write ups. I've been talking with a friend of mine about a couple of different decks, and I kind of want to put some stuff out with that. He's also been a little bit busy, so us recording something together and talking about it has been put to the side for the moment as well. But hopefully, as I figure out how to manage my time a little bit better, I'll be able to put more stuff out. And I just wanted to talk about this because like having a work-life balance is really, really important, right? And even though I'm not trying to look at my channel as a job necessarily, this is still work. This is still like time that I'm putting in that I can't spend on other things. And that's not like really a point of contention for me. I'm just trying to talk about it to make it clear. Like this takes a bit more effort than it might seem like it does on paper, and trying to manage all of your commitments with it, I do think is a bit rough. So, those of you people who are out there uploading daily, don't know how you do it, kudos. But that being said, today I want to talk a little bit about the hero package as a red low end. So I believe one of the main instances I've seen people fiddling around with this lately has been using the hero cards as a baseline to quickly get into Gaiomon. So they're still running Dogachimon and I believe Globemon as well as Gaiomon, but their low end consists of stuff like Agunimon, the Arrestadramon and Arrestadramon Superior Mode, and of course Shoutmon and Vmon, because each of them, the level 3s that is, have this your turn effect that reduces the Digivolution cost into a hero trait Digimon by 1. So you get to go up to level 4 for a cost of 1. And if you're going into Arrestor plays out your Tamer for free, right? And Gunimon has this when attacking that allows you to go into level 5 for a reduced Digivolution cost. Superior Mode actually does Digivolve for a cost of 3 on Hero Trait Digimon as well as level 4s with save in their text. So you can go into this guy for 2. If you do that, you lose out on the attack without suspending because you are mid attack, so you can't attack while you're attacking, but it potentially allows for things like digivolving into Medusamon for a total cost of 5. Like, let's say you go first, you digivolve in the back into, let's say, Elizamon and then a Gunimon on top of it. Your opponent does whatever, and on your turn, even if you're at 1 memory, you move out, a Gunimon swings, it digivolves into Superior Mode for 2. Superior Mode will swing into security relatively safely because it goes up to 12k from the Agunimon inheritable and then 15k thanks to its own effect. So, if the security card doesn't do anything to you, the Gigimon inheritable will trigger, allowing you to digivolve into Medusamon for a cost of 3. So, for a total cost of 5, you got to level 6. You checked two of your opponent's security, potentially played out this body and deleted it to trash a third. You might opt to use her when digivolving effect immediately to delete your opponent's other Digimon, assuming they played one down to search or something, and leave the token on board to be deleted later. It's pretty darn effective, but I do think a lot of people prefer the more, I don't know if it's like a high roll play, but the less efficient play of digivolving into superior mode, usually using a scramble card or something like that. And then getting that free swing to go into Medusa, and Medusa will end your turn, but Owen can then force her to attack while suspending. So you can get a total of 4 checks or potentially get rid of your opponent's security entirely. Now that's just the Digimon side of things, right? But I think the tamers are also really, really, really good. Tiger in particular says, by placing one Digimon card with save in its text or the hero trait in your hand under this tamer, draw one and gain one memory. Then, when any of your Digimon would evolve into a Digimon card with save in its text or the hero trait, by suspending this tamer and placing one card from under your tamers as any of their bottom Digivolution cards, reduce the Digivolution cost by 1. So, let's say in a later game position, you have both Takuya and Tigeru out, right? Takuya would allow you to reduce the Digivolution cost of one of your Digimon by 2 because you have two differently named red tamers. And Tiger would allow you to reduce it further by one more by placing one of the cards that's under it under one of your Digimon. This also allows you to have greater amounts of DP in these scenarios, or in the event that Shoutmon's rush effect is relevant for some reason, you could even slot that under. Tiger and Hero are also a pretty good combination because you'll just gain a memory if your opponent has a Digimon, and then when you place a Digivolution card under one of your hero trait Digimon, you suspend hero, draw one, and gain one. So, uh, in either case, you become very memory efficient, and again, you can play down any of these tamers because they all have the hero trait with the rest of Digimon. I think that the way BT21 was designed is very interesting. I'm kind of glad that this amount of flexibility exists, but I'm not really particularly sure if I'm just overall not sure how good all of this is. Just to say, like, we have these really aggressive red OTK decks, and they are very good at doing their job, obviously. But I would imagine that maybe War Greymon would be the more effective OTK deck to go for because it has so many more tools and a greater range of flexibility. At the same time, the various things you can do with Arrestor Dramon Superior mode do allow for the opponent being blindsided to some degree. But if you can adequately play against it, if you know what you're dealing with, it becomes considerably more manageable. An example of this would be honestly when I was at locals Thursday. Uh, One of the players at my locals actually did something like that. They tried to do the superior mode, swing at my security, and then go into Medusa. They actually ended up being able to do this 2 turns in a row just because of how things got sequenced. But I initially just sat in the back and raising and let them, chip away at my security. I moved out after, and admittedly, I was on Aosmon, so that's part of what was going on. But just by waiting for them to do their play and then moving out, I was able to not only remove their Medusa, but set myself up to not really have to worry about being deleted because we have the newer Manoa that can allow me to delete a completely different body. And due to the newer Aosmon inheritables, you can still redirect Medusamon's attack. Progress does not protect from redirection because redirection is an attack processing type of deal. The only thing that protects from redirection are the inheritables that stop you from being redirected. Man, I don't know. Overall, it's kind of interesting. The Gilmon is a reptile, so you do get a decent bit of early game filter by utilizing these hero cards. I'm just not sure how consistent it would be. Like, the cool thing about Gilmon is the Lamiamon effect does allow you to play it out, so you can get the draw two and dig through your deck further, which is something Medusamon absolutely does need. Because if you don't find your extra copies of Medusa, you very much will be struggling. Yeah. Overall, I just find it very interesting, and in the long term, I kind of expect Tiguru to be one of the more expensive cards out of the set. So if you have a set of them, I would recommend holding on to them just in case you become interested in using the hero base in the future. And of course, it is relevant for playing hunters as well. Oh, wow. Okay, we can keep this. Usually I feel like I get a hand that is really, really rough. Talking like 3 tamers and 2 level 6s. Oh, right. Also, because I'm using the Medusamon Gigimon, this deck has the inherent detriment that I'm always paying 1 to Digivolve back here, but it's kind of offset by the tamers a bit. Except for you. You give me the slightest bit of freedom. I'll give them 2. Makes a little more sense to toss the Takuya out. Incidentally, I've opened this every single game I've tried this deck out, even though I only run 2 of them. I'm on 4 hero, 4 Tiguru, 2 of this. You could run more copies of him because he is a way to play out tamers. But this is just really easy draw and memory to trigger. Gunimon triggers it, your Tiguru triggers it. Okay, this is fine. I'm set up for what I need to do now. We Digivolve into Aguni for free. We can shove this, triggering this, gain 1, draw 1. I have this, so we can get up into Lamia. Lamia can swing, and we can go from there. If they attempt to ace, I'll be okay. I should have paid more attention to what they grabbed, actually. I also could just Evo on the Takuya. So for -1, if I pop the boost... Man, I think I'd prefer to end the turn, right? I guess that's the main advantage with the red base hero package, right? Is your opponent realistically wouldn't know what exactly it is you're playing. They can make a couple inferences, but if they never see you add 6s off the top, they have no clue what your top end would be. They also would have no clue if you're running removal options as well. So little boons add up. But yeah, nonetheless, even if I was running something more aggressive, like if I was actually using Medusa top end, I don't really think I'd be doing anything too crazy. And I may as well do another game with Medusa just to show for the sake of comparison. Slightly different lineup of 3s and 4s though. That's fine. Because it doesn't stop me from Digivolving. If I want to do that, that is. If I can do that. Okay, no, that's just funny. Now, Gaiomon would explicitly be better in a Greymon deck for a number of reasons. One of which is just the fact that you have all turns DP if you do that. I guess they're gonna go to 3 anyway, so it's fine. Scramble would have also probably been the correct thing to do, but I think there's only 2 4s out of my deck right now, so the likelihood I'll draw into another one is decently high. Assuming 3 of them aren't in my security, that is. But another thing that's kind of nice about Progress, it's kind of intuitive, but while attacking, your opponent's effects don't affect his Digimon, meaning if you have DP minus, that goes away for the duration of your swing. So Medusa is pretty okay into yellow, as it would turn out. Oh, I mean, yeah. That is indeed a thing you can do. And he only cost 11, so my deletion would whiff. Yeah, Alliance 2 checks. If they have OmniX, which I have seen some lists run it, they could just send me to the bone zone as well. It doesn't really ruin my ability to play the game, I think. I guess this is the play here. I was gonna go into Lamia, but if I do this, I can superior mode. The cost is covered anyway, but more DP. I think it would have benefited them to wait on the Mega Gargoyle Ace unless they have another one in hand. Yep. Which they might. They do not. Sure. And there you have it. Now again, I don't think the hero deck is super broken or anything, and this is obviously not the best top-end that you could be using here, but it is pretty interesting how these cards work relatively cohesively, and you end up having a level 5 slot that's free for you to slot whatever you want to slot in here. I do think it's potentially reasonable to cut both Hero and Tigeru down to 3, especially if you're trying to run more level 4s just for the sake of consistency. But overall, if you want to play some red aggro good stuff, it's not bad. It's honestly really not bad. And you do have the option, if you really want to run some purple top-end cards as well. So keep that in mind. The starter deck War Greymon is also hero trait for some reason. So you can make your stuff unaffected as well. But that's about it from me. Make of this what you will. Later.